Ashley with You Need a Budget, and I hope this video finds you well. Last week I started a Slack thread asking my teammates for ways they had cut spending, and I got some great ideas that I wanted to share with you today. And if you have any tips for stretching your budget during times of uncertainty, leave those in a comment down below so that we can all support each other. Something that came up again and again was to analyze your current budget and spending. And when you're tracking your spending, you're giving yourself valuable information, and you can take that information to make better choices. And in a recent video, I showed you a quick exercise where you can break up your budget into needs versus wants. I like that exercise so much because it makes things crystal clear what is really important and what is discretionary spending. Now you could even take it a step further and analyze each and every one of the needs and challenge each assumption. We have a few different videos on our channel that tackle this topic. The most recent one came from Ernie, and his clothing dryer broke. And at first he thought, well, of course I'm going to need to pay to get this fixed right away, but the service person couldn't come out for about 2 weeks. But Ernie had to live his life and keep going on wearing clothes and cleaning them. And during that 2-week period, he found out that he actually really likes to hang his clothes out to dry. So that was an assumption he challenged. And you can do the same thing, whether it's doing something yourself, doing without, maybe instead of buying something, borrowing, as long as you're keeping social distance. But really it comes down to making do in this uncertain time. As you're looking through your budget and spending, also take a magnifying glass to your different recurring bills. For myself, when I signed up for my cell phone, it was important to me at that time to have unlimited data because I had a job where I didn't know if I was going to be sitting on different job sites. But now that I'm remote, do I actually need it? So it would be smart for me to take some time today and look into different plan options that might be cheaper. Also, now might be the time to cut certain streaming services. I've kept Netflix because I basically watch The Office on repeat over and over again, and maybe your kids are only watching Frozen and Frozen 2 over and over again, so you keep Disney Plus but cancel or freeze all the rest. Someone on our team called their internet service provider and simply asked for a discount and got it immediately. So I want to try that. Also, as you're looking through your budget, maybe you can pinpoint something you either are spending a lot on or are buying frequently, and then do a little shopping around and price comparison. Maybe you can find it that you can buy it locally cheaper than ordering it online, or vice versa. For me, I've put a lot of my quality of life goals on hold, one of those being Orange Theory Fitness, which is kind of a bummer because I feel like I had finally gotten into a good place, like gotten into the groove, made it a part of my weekly schedule. But of course, all of their locations are closed and they won't be charging us next month, but they are sending out daily workout videos, which I think is awesome. And you can find a lot of free fitness content right here on YouTube. Aaron has mentioned FitnessBlender to me a couple times, and then Yoga by Adriene is another popular one. If you're new to You Need a Budget, we have 4 rules for less money stress, and I've mentioned it before. I'm not sure if you're supposed to have a favorite, but I do, and it's rule number 3, roll with the punches. Now more than any other time since I've started budgeting is the time to roll with the punches. So as I went through my own budget, I looked for opportunities. Since Jeremy's not going into the office, I could pull some money from gas and transportation and move it to pad the utilities category a little bit. And you could do the same maybe with dining out and moving money into groceries. Speaking of groceries, let's talk about food for just a minute. This is always the big one for me. And before, when I would meal plan, I would think to myself, what are we in the mood to eat this week? And that question has since become, what can I make that makes the most of the resources I already have? So my big plan after I finish filming, I will probably take a quick break and check in on my Animal Crossing town. But after that, I'm gonna do an organization and inventory of my pantry. And once I have that list of everything I already have, that's what I'm gonna use to make my meal plan for the week. I'm going to look on the internet, I'm gonna look at cookbooks and make a plan based on recipes that will use those ingredients. Going back to challenging each assumption, normally when I grocery shop, I buy a loaf of sandwich, honey wheat sandwich bread that Jer really likes. It's I think $3.50 or right under $4, but in that Slack thread, someone shared a recipe from Bytes for a honey wheat loaf that sounded pretty much exactly the same. But at first I thought, well, that's not a big enough savings. I think the Byte one was $1.25 or $1.50. But here's the thing about making the most of your budget during times of uncertainty. It is not just the big things like selling off a car or canceling cable. It's the little things too, and it's all of them together. It's making the most of what you have so you can provide the most security to yourself and your loved ones. The last thing I wanted to talk about today is looking for free things to do. And in my neighborhood, they just had to shut down all of the playgrounds, which of course makes sense, but I'm sure is such a bummer for the kids. So they sent out a message asking for everyone to put teddy bears chairs in their windows so that the parents can take the kids on walks, they can keep social distancing, they don't have to touch playground equipment, but they can go on a bear hunt and try to spy all the different bears. And I thought that was such a cute idea. And in the Slack thread, there was so much free content for kids that was shared, more than I could ever list for you here. So I'll put some in the description box down below. And then Ben and Kelly from You Need a Budget are going to be creating videos for kids explaining money in a way that they can understand. And I've already seen a sample and it's going to be so good. As for myself, I've mentioned before that I'm a fan of the David Allen Getting Things Done method. Per David, in my planner, I have a someday maybe list, a list of ideas that sounded like a great idea, but I haven't made time for them yet. One of them, my friend has been talking about this app called Cladwell for so long. It's a closet organization app, and I put it off, but I finally decided to do it, and it's really fun. You add all the items from your closet, and the app creates different outfits for you. So since I'm not trying to spend frivolous money on clothes, this was a fun way of making things feel fresh and new again. So if a closet organization session is on your list of things to do, I think that app is really fun. Other than that, supporting local businesses, if you can afford to buy a gift card, awesome, but you could always just like and interact with their content, like, share, so that they get in front of the eyes of more people. And if you're feeling disconnected, I think more than just texting, I think actually FaceTiming or using Zoom or whatever, and talking to a friend face to face, or as much as we can do in these weird times, makes all the difference. Like I said in my last video, we are here for you. We want to create content that is going to be the most helpful to you during this time. We're running a lot of our live workshops, and if you haven't taken one of them before, they are completely free. You do not have to be a You Need a Budget user to attend. And we're running two right now that I think might be especially helpful. One is called What to Do When You Have to Use a Credit Card, and the other one is Budgeting When Money's Tight. So I'll put links to those down below, but please take care, and I'll talk to you again very soon.